Guys, we are so excited to bring on this coach, guys, who has been around for a very long time. And in talking to him a little bit before this, I cannot wait for you guys to hear what he has to say. He knows the business. He knows what it takes to become successful. And he's here to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that he has done that he wants to share with you. Guys, he's a guy who's not about accolades, but he is a 3-time elite coach, a 14-star diamond coach. In 2010, guys, he was the top coach of the year, and he was only a coach for 2 years. Then he became the top coach in 2010. Unbelievable. He wrote a book called Just Suck It Up. Got to read it. From Lucas, Texas, guys, please welcome to the call, Mr. Josh Spencer. Josh, welcome to the call.
What's up, man? I appreciate the introduction.
I'm so glad there's somebody else on here with me. It is great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Good. Okay, we're just going to jump into things. Coaches are just dying to know. Josh, how did you get started with Beachbody?
Yeah, so I'm kind of a grandpa in the business now. Oh, hey, Sandy. There she is. So back in 2008, I graduated college and got a degree in the financial planning field, in the financial industry. I started my job, and man, I don't know what it was, but the stress of life and a lot of Chinese food, I ended up gaining a lot of weight. Right. So I gained about 25 pounds, severely lacked confidence in myself. And I don't know, man, I just hit a low. in my life. I remember just looking in the mirror one morning and just saying, what in the world is going on with you? So I started doing a little research. I'm a former athlete, so I was looking for something that would get me back into shape. And I found this infomercial for this incredible hard program called P90X. And for whatever reason, it was weird because I don't watch infomercials, but I sat there and I stared at the TV for a good 30 minutes watching these people just sweat like crazy. And something attracted me to the program, and I decided to go online on eBay and order it. And fortunately, there was a coach selling it illegally on eBay because it came with this little slip that said I can go online and get my own Team Beachbody coach. And that was when my coach, Barbie, was assigned to me. So that's how I kind of got involved in P90X. Man, the program absolutely changed my life. I lost 25 pounds in 90 days, got absolutely shredded. I wasn't able to do that before. This program took me to a whole other level with my fitness. And it was really, really cool to be able to have results that quick. And then I decided just a couple months later, I decided to get involved in the business. And I'm one of those people that I didn't really get started, not right, but I just didn't get started quickly. My coach, Barbie, she was basically brand new like me. And we were both just kind of going through it together. But I was super, super stubborn, and she will tell you that. And I wanted to do everything my way. And the problem with that was I didn't know what I was doing. So fast forward to 2009, and my wife and I kind of hit an all-time low. We got to a point to where and this is part of my story, I don't mind sharing it, but we were on food stamps and we were struggling, and we were sleeping on a couch for 2 years. So our only daughter could have our only bedroom. And it just got to a point to where I felt like, and it's hard to say, I felt like I was failing. I felt like I was failing as a father. I felt like I was failing as a husband. And it just hit me one day, I swear to you, and I say this all the time when I'm sharing my story, it felt like somebody walked up to me and punched me in the gut. And I decided that day that I was going to change, and I was going to do this for my family. I was going to I was going to get us out of this situation, and I was going to change our life. And I remember I sat my wife down on the couch and I said, you give me 1 year of hard work, 1 year of sacrifice. I promise you, I can give you a lifetime of freedom. And I'm very thankful to say that, okay, yes, in a year, I won top coach. That was at the end of 2009, and in 2010, I was a top coach. and we got off of food stamps. And to be honest, we just created incredible freedom that we never really believed that we could experience before with the business. And then I want to fast forward because I had 3 transformations with Beachbody. So first one was I was trying to lose weight. Second one was the financial transformation. The third one was in 2015, I came down with Lyme disease. And it was one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with in my life because I had to stop working out. And I ended up losing, as I was going through treatment, I ended up losing about 25 or 30 pounds. And I decided once I was healed enough and ready to go, I was super, super skinny, lost all the muscle mass, wasn't able to work out, and I did Body Beast again. So I have these cool transformations. I have the losing weight with P90X, and then I have the gaining mass with Body Beast, and I ended up getting 11 pounds in 90 days. So wow. That's my brief story.
I love that. You know, what I absolutely loved about that is coaches, life situations provides opportunities for you to grow. You can sit back and let life kind of kick you down, or you can look at life and say, no, this is not what I want for myself. And you can make things happen. Josh, I love that story. Guys, you saw a glimpse of Sandy pop on. Hallelujah. The LA roads cleared up. Sandy, I'm going to give this back to you to take over because you do a much better job. But Josh, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm just going to sit back and now watch.
Kevin, you are such a sweetheart. Thank you so much for, I'm here. And you know what, Josh, I've heard your story before, and every time I hear it, it hits me in another way. And that is that all you wanted to do was provide for your family. And I just think, you're a guy. We don't have a lot of guys in the network. Hopefully that's going to change. But the whole thing about providing for your family, it hits both men and women. So I don't even think it's a gender thing, but I want to take you through this interview because you have a lot to offer. So the reason for this call today about you and your focus on supplements and you increasing volume, helping to increase volume for your team, it really all came about, recently people are hyper focused on what they can do to create a more substantial foundation for their businesses. But I want to talk to you about, you started using our supplements for 11 years ago, right? I mean, you probably used Activit, right?
I did, yeah. The vitamins, yeah.
So talk to us about being a product of the products.
No, I mean, honestly, and it's not anything that we haven't heard before, right? It's the most important part of our business. You can't recommend something that you don't use, right? The reason why I recommend Shakeology so much is because I've been using it every day since 2010. The reason why I recommend Energize so much is because I've been using it off and on for the past 5 years, and it's such an incredible product, right? When I use these products and I experience results with them, it's so much easier to talk about. I used to be a financial advisor, guys, and that is a straight up sales job where I had to cold call people and I had to recommend things that I'm not saying I didn't necessarily believe in, but I guess I am saying that because I didn't really believe in them. I was just told to sell them, and it was super icky. It was super uncomfortable for me. Now, when I'm recommending products, it's just doing it because I want to help people, and it's a huge different approach, and people feel that way too. They feel the difference.
So you and I talked about how you actually promote the products rather than selling. So this is a good transition, and that is how do you talk about the products that you share?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, we got to mention that you got to talk about them. Right? I mean, there's so many people who are afraid to talk about our products for the fear of coming across as too salesy or whatever reason, but we have to talk about them on social media because social media is the way to build our business anymore. Guys, if you use something and you truly believe in it, don't be afraid to talk about it. Talk about it on Instagram, talk about it on Facebook, and talk about it with passion. Something that I like to do, and I'm sure that you guys have heard this before, maybe not, but it's something called curiosity marketing. And it's something that I highly recommend. It's something that I teach for my team as well. You don't want to post that you're using Shakeology. You don't want to post that you're using Energize. You want people to respond. You want the light bulbs to go off in people's minds. You want them to question what you're using. So when I talk about the products that I'm using, especially on social media, I don't mention the product name. I want them to ask me for the product name. That way I can have a private conversation, a lot of the times a private conversation with them. But something else I really want to address, and this is a huge tip for you guys, and I want you to think about this, okay? Think about this. When you go to a restaurant or you go to a resort or you're researching a resort, where do you go? You go to TripAdvisor, right? And why do you go to TripAdvisor? Because you read customer reviews. You read what people are saying about that hotel or what they're saying about that restaurant. And something that a lot of coaches are failing with is they're not using customer and coach reviews as much as they should. Sure, we do a good job, and obviously when I say we as a network as a whole, we do a good job in talking about transformations, but why can't we do the same thing with products? Why can't we gather testimonials from our customers and put them on a blog, which is what I do? So I have different sections on my websites where I'll have a bunch of customer reviews because, and guys, it's different coming from someone other than me, right? It's like going to Expedia, the same thing, the reviews. Amazon, right? And I'm selling a book right now, and it comes down to reviews. What do people think about the products? It's not what I think about my product. I think it's a good product, but what do other people think about that product? Because that's what matters the most. So something I want to recommend you guys to do is have a website, right? And create a little section that has testimonials for different products. So you could have a specific testimonial section for Energize or Shakeology or the new collagen or whatever it is. Then what you can do is take that link, and whenever you have customers or whoever that are interested in these products, say, listen, here's what I think about it. This stuff is really good. It's helped me, but I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to check this out. Send them a link and they can go through and they can read all the testimonials. I do this as much as I possibly can with all of our products line, not just with the supplements, but with the transformations as well.
Okay, that's brilliant. And I thought about it when we first spoke about it, and I see on social media right now that it's a really good idea. Thank you for the tip. Now, I'm going to ask a question that might be a little sensitive for some people, and that is, do you sell everything that we have in the product catalog? I mean, why do you only sell products that you like?
I don't sell everything that we have. And here's what it comes down to, guys. I don't want to recommend things I don't like. I don't want to recommend things that haven't worked for me. My job, my responsibility as a coach is to help people and to help people the best way possible. Some of the products I just don't like, and that's just me being honest with you. So if you go through and you look at my volume and the things that I recommend for people, it's always things that I have a true story that I have true passion for, only because I know they've worked for me or I know they've worked for other people. And here's something that's really important too, is this builds trust with your clients. Trust is everything. It really, really comes down to trust and how much they trust you and your recommendations. And when someone approaches me and they say, hey man, what do you think about this product? And I say, if you want me to be honest with you, I don't think it's great. Okay. And when I say that to them, they're like, oh, okay, so maybe he's not trying to sell. Maybe he actually is trying to help me make a massive change in my life. It's like, well, what do you recommend? Or, is there other supplements to recommend? And I will recommend things that have worked for me. So it comes down to passion, right? And these are things that I'm passionate about. And when you're passionate about something, people are going to respond in a different way. They sense that passion, they feel that passion, and it makes a big difference in your approach.
It reminds me of a restaurant when you say, you ask the food server, what's the favorite thing on the menu? And he's like, filet mignon. And you know that he just wants the highest price item. But when somebody says, personally, the filet mignon doesn't, agree with me very much, but this I like the trust that starts to come between you and your coach is really what you're going after. But just so we don't turn people off to challenge packs. Okay. So challenge packs are a unique solution because it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and you can immediately plug somebody into, a fitness and nutrition solution. But you still customize, or you still talk to that customer about their needs. I just wanted to have you talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? We want to help people the best way possible. And if that's with the challenge pack, fantastic. And sometimes it's not. And I think that was actually one of the questions we were going to get to. I might as well address it now. But for me, it's all about getting people involved. That's the end game. I don't care if it's on a challenge pack. I don't care if it's on just Energize. I don't care if it's just Recovers or on the entire performance line, or maybe even one of our equipment products. I don't care what it is. My goal is to get people involved whatever way possible, because I want them to just understand the value in what we have to offer. And guys, we have tremendous value. We have so many incredible products, and just whatever solution is going to be best for the person that I'm talking to based on their own personal goals. That's what I do. That's how I do things. Challenge packs, obviously, that's the end goal. That's what I'm trying to get people to do, because I truly believe, just as everybody else does, is that with Shakeology and with the combination of a program, or the performance line and a combination of a program, is the best way to get results.
So I'm going a little bit out of order, but go with me on this. It just seems like a better flow. You and I talked about upselling versus downselling, how you starting out high, starting out low. So share with this audience a little bit about your selling method.
Yeah, so I got to give credit here to one of the coaches on my team, Keisha Embry. We had this conversation probably, I don't know, maybe it's 3 or 4 months ago now. And I just asked her, I said, because I see team volume, I go back and I go through my downline, and I'm always seeing what people are doing. And I asked her, I said, Keisha's like, what are you doing? What are you doing that is working with your team? How are you selling products, and how are you getting so many people involved, and why is your volume so high? And for me in the past, it was all about, okay, let's start with the challenge pack and let's kind of work down from there. And she's like, she's like, why don't you start small and kind of work up from there? And I'm like, oh, so kind of like upselling. And I decided to make this shift in my own business, and it worked. So what I like to do is I like to just get people, I like to first start out with a program, and then I'll say, hey man, I've got some supplements that I use. There's this one supplement that I use for energy in the morning, because I work out early in the morning. It gives me the boost that I need. Energize, are you looking for supplements? And a lot of times they'll come back, say, yeah, man, I saw this, or, and then they'll start asking other questions about other supplements that I recommend. So I start low, and I've been working my way up, and it seems to get more people involved. It's a really, really cool thing that I've been teaching my team, and I'm seeing really good results from right now.
Awesome. You talked earlier about your journey in this business has been, first it was weight loss and you got into P90X, and then it was weight building, like building muscle and bulking back up when you had lost a lot of muscle mass. So right now, who is attracted to you? Who's needing your help? What are you posting? What are you sharing? And who's coming to you?
Yeah, it's really interesting, because it's such a combination of different goals. It's whereas in the beginning, and by the way, I attract mostly men. Well, I guess in that way too. I'm talking about my market is mostly men, so I mostly work with just men. Women come to me too. It's very rare, but and I think that has to do with my branding. But Sandy, what was your initial question with that?
I'm like, easy there, Scooby-Doo. Like, what are people attracted to you in your posting? What are you sharing? Who are the people? You talked about curiosity marketing. So what are you posting that is attracting people to you?
Right. So it's just me being me, right? And me getting my story out there. And this is one of the most important things that you can do, is just share different aspects of your story. At first it was, okay, let's bring, there was a lot of people that approached me about losing weight and getting shredded, just like I did, because I posted my transformation with P90X so publicly out there on YouTube, everywhere. People were coming to me just for that specific goal. And then all of a sudden it shifted in 2016 when I went through Body Beast. And I decided, okay, I'm going to gain mass. So now I have a combination of people that are coming to me for both. They want to lose weight, right? And it's weird. It's not like I have a ton of people come to me that need to lose a significant amount of weight. It's people that are coming to me in the exact same situation that I was in before when I started P90X or when I started Body Beast. And really, it's just me being transparent, me being just me. I'm not trying to appeal to everybody. I'm not trying to be somebody else. I'm just as raw as I possibly can be, as transparent. And I just want to get my story out there as much as possible to people. And that's not just with the fitness either. That is with the business too. That is a big thing for me, is getting my story out there about how we were able to make such incredible changes. And because of that, I have so many people that are coming to me about coaching that just want to, they just say to me, hey man, I saw what you were talking about. I can relate. I get it. I understand what you're going through. I'm in the same situation. I want to get out as well. So it really comes down to you guys being very transparent, very open about everything that you're going through with different journeys in your life and your transformations as you go through Beachbody.
You know, last week we had a coach who's been coaching just about 1.5 years. Today we have a coach, if you're just starting tuning in, he's been a coach 11 years. And it's been very cyclical for him, and he's still a coachable guy. He still is learning from his team of what works and what's not, but it's always going to be about trust and coaching. The definition of coaching is helping others succeed. So you mentioned to me your team consistently has high volume. And would you attribute that to really their knowledge of the products or their willingness to help customers?
I think it comes down to both, right? And you got to understand our product line. You got to understand what product is going to work for each person's specific goals that they have. But in the end, what does it really come down to? It comes down to your willingness to help people make a change in their life. That's what we do. That's what Beachbody is all about. And yes, this is, I truly believe this is why my business has been able to sustain it where it is for so many years, is because my approach is always, let's change people's lives first. And I got to mention this because I like to talk about this. And it's almost like this, guys, is imagine you walking into a mall and you have a little kiosk in the center of the mall, and there's this dude standing there with a blow dryer, and he just wants to get your attention. He does everything you can. He just wants to get you to come over there and talk to him about his specific product. What do? You do everything you possibly can to just kind of go in the other direction. You ignore them, you pretend like you're talking, you grab your phone, you pretend that you're talking to somebody on the phone, or you pretend that you're texting. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That person is selling something to you, and you know it and you feel it. But when you're trying to help someone actually change their life, it's a totally different feeling. It's a different approach. And I'm telling you guys, when you can stop worrying, this is so important. Stop worrying so much about selling a product. Just stop and start focusing on, what can I do to help this person in some way? How can I change this person's life? All of a sudden, your approach, the way you approach things and how you speak about this stuff is so different. And because it's so different, people sense it, they feel it. You can feel when someone's selling to you, and you can feel when someone's trying to help you change their life, your life, right? You can feel it, you sense it, you feel it. And it's such a different thing. And that passion that comes out, it builds trust, and people, they want to listen to you. And they want to get involved because they know that you're there to help them, and that's it.
Awesome, Josh. Can you talk about follow-up? What is your system of follow-up with your customers? How often, and anything else?
Yeah, so follow-ups is everything. You hear it a million times. The fortune is in the follow-up. I have a great follow-up system. I didn't used to have a great follow-up system. I do now. It's so important to have some sort of follow-up system. I use Google Streak. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. If not, go to YouTube. You can check out all kinds of information about it. But I like to send out something called a weekly coach check-in, and I have to give credit to my coach Barbie for starting this, because when I was a client under her, she sent a weekly coach check-in every single week talking about just different aspects, things that she was going through. She was talking about her transformations. She was talking about products. She was talking about supplements that came out. And I've carried that on, and 11 years later, I still send weekly coach check-ins to my entire client list every single week. And it's because I'm just trying to, one, continually follow up with them, but two, I want to talk about different things that I've used. I want to give a customer testimonial of Energize, or a customer testimonial of a new product that's coming out. I'm really excited for the 6 weeks of the work, by the way. I'm so freaking pumped for that. I was just thinking about that because I'm going to be making weekly coach check-ins here soon, and I want to be able to have testimonials from that and talk about this new product. But it's me going and following up with these people on a consistent basis. In addition, I make notes of where each person is. So if somebody just got in on demand and they're just starting a program, for example, and they didn't use any supplements, I'll make note of that. And I'll go back and I'll look at these notes a month later and I'll say, hey, how's it going? Obviously I'm following up with this person every week before then, but I will follow up and say, hey, I know you're using results. Energize is a great thing too. It's a pre-workout supplement I use, and I'm trying to get them involved in other things as well to help them out. So follow-ups are everything when it comes to this business.
So supplements are big, big business. And you and I talked about it. It's a big market for men. And I know you don't want to speak for women, but is there some recommendation that you can give to this audience about supplements and keeping people on them on a continual basis?
Yeah, it's no different. I mean, it makes zero difference whether you're a man or a woman. I think there's a bigger supplement market for men, especially like former athletes, which is the market that I'm in. But it comes down to this. It comes down to just understanding your product, just like we talked about, and using things and recommending things that work for you, right? This new collagen that came out, it's not for me, guys. I'm not going to use it for my nails. I really don't care. But there's a lot of people, there's a lot of women on the call that, okay, this is for them. Use this product, understand how valuable it is, and then recommend it successfully. And really, that's what it comes down to.
Well, you may not be into collagen now, but maybe later it'll creep into your life and you'll be able to talk
probably not.
But you know what? Let's final question,
All right.
before we get into the close, and that's about training and education, because you made a big deal to me how important that training is to your team. So can you talk about what you do?
Yeah, I mean, really, guys, volume is what makes us money, right? And we have to talk about everything that I just talked about with our teams. We have to talk about follow-up systems. We have to teach these systems. We have to talk about being a product of the product. We have to talk about these conversations that you're having, helping people reach their specific goals by recommending specific products. We have to talk about all of these things together because we want our teams to do the same thing. I'm using these products because I want my team to use these products. I'm doing these things. I'm having follow-up systems, and I'm talking about it because I want my teams to do the same thing. So we have to talk about the importance of recommending product, even if it's just an energizer, whatever it is. Our goal, as I stated earlier, is just to get people involved. Once we get them involved, here's the kicker, here's the key. Once we get them involved, they understand how great of products that we have, and they are hooked, they are addicted. That is how you find yourself really good coaches. Doesn't matter if it's with a challenge pack, doesn't matter if it's with the resistance bands or whatever. You just need to get people involved with our products.
Josh, I want to remind everybody who's watching or listening that this wake-up call is a call that highlights best practices. You have found what works for you. We are sharing why you have been successful, how you've been successful, and it doesn't mean that everybody watching or listening completely switches the way they've been doing things. It's get best practices, get some tips of what's been working for Josh, and he has shared so much great stuff. I really, really appreciate you, and thank you so much. It's about time that I had you on the call. It's been a while. But let's go to the last question, which is about personal fulfillment. you've been around 11 years and you're still in it and you're still finding new ways of helping others. Why don't you share with the audience what Beachbody has meant in your life?
Beachbody is everything, guys. It's this business, these products have literally changed the course of my life so many different times. It's led me to levels in my life and leadership, and even on a personal side of things with my family, because of the getting involved in personal development, and now with speaking, and now with writing books that I never truly thought that I'd be able to do before. But at the same time, and it's so funny because I had this conversation, and I think I was on the plane. I travel a lot. I was on the plane, and they said, what do you do? And I said, like I'm a coach, and it doesn't feel like a job to me. I don't feel like I'm working because I'm doing something I absolutely love to do every single day. I love leading people. I love mentoring my coaches. I love making changes in people's lives and having those messages come in that say, hey, dude, you cannot believe this, but I got off my depression medication, or I lost 50 pounds doing P90X, or whatever it is. There is some incredible fulfillment that comes from Beachbody, but not just that, guys. We have something extremely powerful with our community. And some of my best friends, and most of my best friends now, are people that I have met through Team Beachbody. It's incredible. It's incredible because we have something special, and it's not. And I don't want to say. I don't want to sound cliche, but we really do have something special here in the community that we are a part of. And I've met some incredible people that are extremely like-minded, that just want to have fun and just want to help people change their lives, whether it's with the fitness side of things or whether it's with the business. So I love being a Team Beachbody coach, and I always will, as long as this is around.
And I love that you are a family guy, and that you've worked really hard to get to where you are and to be able to enjoy life with your family and your friends. I love that. You said you're starting a second book, right?
I am, yeah.
So I think that you should call it Just Soak It Up.
There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Spencer, thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, everybody.
You're very welcome. That was so good. I'm thinking that I have so many affirmations that I could put with this call, because Josh is somebody who worked really hard. But one thing that he says in his book, and one thing that he shoots straight, he's a straight shooter. He tells it like it is, which is why his book is called Just Suck It Up. Stop making excuses. So actually that is your affirmation for this week, is, you know what? Just do it, man. Just suck it up. Stop making excuses and get to it. He showed you how he's doing it, and now go out there and crush it. I'll see you guys all next week. Bye-bye.